team names I'm thinking of. One is We All Fall in the Pit, kind of a play on an old classic. Gamer, I Hardly Know Her. Didn't expect that one to work.
It was so bad it worked.
Tears of the Lag Man.
Oh, trying to be prophetic.
Hopefully. Doom, the Zach Ages. All the right games in all the right places. Oh yeah, you're going down.
That's so long.
Everybody knows everybody.
You have to sing like the whole paragraph.
You have to sing the whole time every time. Yeah, that's it. That's all I got.
I like Tears of the NeverLag, or what was the one before that?
Gamer, I Hardly Know Her.
Gamer.
I think I'm gonna do Gamer, I Hardly Know Her. That's my favorite too.
But if you don't do Tears of the NeverLag, you're gonna lose. So I mean, that's a tough call. What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to NeverLag for our annual Fantasy Critic Draft. We're here. We're looking fancy, as you can tell. Me and Zach both decided to look fancy for this occasion, and
puckered my shirt a little bit.
Puckered my
by pulling.
Pop your collar. Yeah. So for those, oh gosh, don't do that. For those unaware, this is fantasy football for video games. It's for like Metacritic, Open Critic scores that they get reviews, and we've done it. This is year 3.
I think so.
It's at least 3, if not 4. I think it's 3.
This
though.
is the 4th
well, I guess it'll tell us right here.
This is the.
It says 2022.
Year.
This is the 4th year. Holy!
You've been doing this for a long time.
We're so old.
Been doing this since Gen Z was 4 years younger than they are now. I guess they were still old. But
I think that would work for everybody. Honestly, insert anybody.
Maybe.
There's so man, year 4. That's crazy. We're gonna recap 2024, which went downhill for.
I think we can
friends Arcasian.
Skip that.
What was your team name? A Song of Silk and Hades. I think that pretty much sums up your year, honestly.
Does. A Song of Silk and Hades. My 2 bets. Thankfully, we adjusted it so that we could count early access if they had a score. And if you hadn't done that, well, I guess I lost so horribly it wouldn't have mattered.
Yeah.
But,
so to recap, my publisher name was the Steamy Deck.
It's pretty good.
That was a good one. And then Zarkasian over here was A Song of Silk and Hades.
Final score. Song of Ice and Fire, and it ended just as terribly as the show.
It did. So. You should have known. I
really should have thought that through.
Yeah.
But
we ended with first place. The Steamy Deck had 298.56 points. And A Song of Silk and Hades ended with 178.
Sorry, I
0.32.
Had a cough there.
So almost.
What was that score?
First place.
What was that score?
You almost were 100 points behind me.
I did cough. My score was 178. Yours was 299.
So it was not close. I counterpicked. So just to go down this a little bit, your first pick was Final Fantasy VII Rebirth. Great choice.
A great pick. Great first pick.
Probably the obvious first choice.
And that did well at 93. That got me 25 points. And that was early in the year. I thought when that came out, I was like, that's it. I won.
It's all over. Actually, let me pull up. I took a photo of the draft order so I can kind of see what's going on. But I believe next I took Black Myth Wukong, which I don't know.
Didn't do as good as you hoped it would
doing. I know, but Souls-like games never review that well. I don't know why I thought that
if they're not FromSoft, they don't tend to do.
I was smoking something there. So let's see here. Oh shoot, the screenshot I took is not going to help me, so I'll just try and remember. But Black Myth Wukong.
We just go down the list.
I'm pretty sure that right after that I took Elden Ring: Shadow of the Erdtree, which ended up being probably the highest scoring, I think, of anything we chose. Yeah,
I think so.
No, which I mean,
Astrobot was higher.
Oh, Astrobot beat it.
By
so
1 point.
Erdtree, yeah, people DLC is always a little sketchy, but I trusted in FromSoft. I trust. That worked out well for me. And your second pick was Hollow Knight Silksong.
Yeah.
Which, the history behind that. is I'm pretty sure I picked it 2 years in a row.
You
This
did,
game
and
has been in development for
you
so
picked it
long.
2 years in a row and were burned by it twice. And I thought,
And then I was like,
surely
no.
it has to come out this year. Like, it seemed obvious that it was definitely come out this year. And
Right. And then I counterpicked it, and
you
lo and
counterpicked
behold,
it.
here we are. That song does not exist.
Yeah,
There is
which
no
is
Silk Song.
a bummer, but it is what it
Yeah.
is.
Just trying to go down. There's some notable things. You drafted Dragon's Dogma 2 pretty high, which I thought was a risky play, but man, that
It
reviewed
paid
pretty
off.
well, surprisingly.
Yeah, and especially in retrospect, I feel like it had a lot of problems, but it did well. It got an 87, so that's pretty dang good, honestly.
Another one you picked is Tekken 8. I swear to goodness, every fighting game you pick reviews 90 plus.
Yeah, that got a 90.
And I've tried, I'm like, all right, let me jump on
can I
this
say?
fighting train. And it's always like low 80s. So if Zach drafts a fighting game,
It's gonna be
then
good.
you know it's going to be a banger. Is basically what we've learned over the past couple of years. You made the mistake of trusting too much in Nintendo and drafting Mario vs. Donkey Kong Remake and Princess Peach Showtime.
Yeah,
Both of which
I picked those up
mid-70s.
Yeah, I picked those up a little bit later, I think.
Were they later?
Well,
No, I don't think so.
I think what happened is you got, just in the draft order, you picked up
A Thousand Year Door Remake.
You got Thousand Year Door Remake. You
hit.
Also got I guess initially you got Brothership, but you dropped that. Oh, you got the
That
Zelda
was way
one
later,
too.
yeah.
You also got the
yeah, those are way later though. This is the draft. You did draft Mario versus Donkey Kong.
I don't remember
Princess
what
Peach,
I drafted, so if you have that written, I'm just going on my list.
Yeah, you did.
I did, but
it's
Nintendo, and I figured Mario vs. Donkey Kong Remake, that's got to be pretty good. Princess Peach Showtime, I figured they would still be in the 80s, but no, they were both mid 70s, so that was
they were rough, man. They were rough. Nothing else here is super jumping out. I think I might have drafted Nine Souls, which actually did really good for an indie game. As far as counterpicks go, you counterpicked my Rise of the Ronin, which, short of picking a game that wasn't going to come out, was a pretty good counterpick because it got 76.
I don't think you had anything that wasn't going to come out at the time that I counterpicked.
I tried to make it tough that way, so I think you did pretty good in that because everything else was the best. 80s.
Yeah, so that was about as good of a counterpick as I could have done.
Yeah, and then so we kind of had a debacle. There was controversy last year. He drafted Hades 2, and I made fun of him because it was coming out in early access. But it did review and it got scores. So we compromised, and I said, all right, and we might change that for this year. We can talk about it. But I said, all right, we'll give you the points.
Well, I think that's what the site is doing now, is that if it scores, it counts it. Which I think makes...
you can or can decide to leave off early review scores.
True, but I think that's the default. And I think it makes sense because if a thing reviews and it's in early access and then they do a full launch, there's I guess a chance it might change, but I feel like you've already
not to get into it too much into this year, but this year I made the rules. If it scores, it's good. Whereas the alternative is it has to release for it to be good.
Yeah.
And so I made it, if it scores, it counts. So that kind of opens up early access. So anyways, what we did is I gave Zach that, because that scored, what was it, 90?
Got 90.
Almost 90.
It was a 90. No, it was 90.
So basically 20 points I gave Zach, but I had counterpicked it because I was like, it's not going to come out in 2024. So we just compromised. He got the points. I didn't get any negative for the counterpick.
Yeah,
there, which honestly would not have mattered.
No. Well, it helped me out because I would have been at 158, and you would have been,
Yeah. And from that point, you stopped caring.
I kind of stopped caring.
Your list is games that did not release.
Yeah, because
you failed to pick a counter pick after I told you for months, and you're like, I have to pick a counter pick. I thought I didn't have to. If I didn't, it wouldn't count against me. And there's minus 15 points for you there.
I know. To be fair, I don't remember what you had left, but a lot of your stuff was in the 10 to 15 point range, so it wouldn't have made much of a difference.
That's true.
Because I remember I just kept going back and looking at your list and being like, I don't know what to count. In retrospect, I should have counterpicked Microsoft Flight Simulator. You did have Dragon Age, but
Microsoft.
I think Dragon Age came out before I was thinking of.
How on earth did Flight Simulator get a 75 when the original was like high 80s? And it's
why. So that was the one to do, but I thought it was going to review well. I also thought Dragon Age was going to review well. So nothing felt like a good counter pick at the time I was looking at it, and most of this stuff is in the 15 point range. So it's kind of a wash, I think.
So there's kind of our review of last year. We've got a trophy in the mail that Zach will have to knight me with at some point.
You. Yeah, I mean, I'll just say the big thing for last year, Silk Song didn't come out. You let me have Hades. I think we should stick with that scoring method. Avowed was on my list. That also got delayed. Assassin's Creed Shadows was on my list, and that got delayed. And then some things that didn't do a few other things that did not do well that I thought would do okay. Were Another Crab's Treasure. You really loved that. That got a 78. I was hoping that'd be in the 80s at least.
78's about right for that game, though.
Actually didn't love that game, but still, I wanted points for it. Visions of Mana, I should have kind of anticipated. That got a 77. Alan Wake 2, The Lake House, only got a 74, which is kind of crazy.
DLC, man.
DLC doesn't do as well.
Fickle mistress.
Stellar Blade I drafted, which I love Stellar Blade. I think it's great. That only got an 82. It's the Souls kind of classic thing where I think it deserves more.
Any Souls-like game is going to be low 80s for some reason.
I feel like Stellar Blade deserves at least an 85, maybe an 86.
I would agree.
Maybe an 87 even.
I don't know. Those desert sectors.
Maybe an 88 or 89 or maybe 90 even, but whatever. And then Neva did pretty good for me, or Neva at 87. Mario and Luigi Brothership, you dropped that and I picked it up because I was a fan of Superstar Saga back in the day, and I thought this is a no-brainer.
I had a feeling it was going to be a high 70s, and there it is.
I'm honestly really bummed as a gamer because I love Superstar Saga.
Looking forward to it.
I love the Mario Luigi combo, and it's like an RPG. It was such a fun thing, and I haven't even played it yet, but it just reviewed so poorly.
I still kind of want to play it, but man, I've heard a lot of people say it is very long-winded and kind of wastes your time a lot, which is just not something I am down with.
And then I don't know what I was smoking when I picked up Marvel Rivals, but that got me 6 points.
I think that was desperate. That was pure desperation.
There was other stuff that I think would have been better. I think I saw on TikTok or somewhere someone's like, "This is actually a slept-on game," and I was like, "I'm going to listen to this random guy." Nah, he's like, so
hey, that's what random guy. I believe in you.
Yep. So anyway,
there's something about you.
This was a brutal year for me. I kind of gave up in the latter half. I might have been able to get another dozen, maybe even 20 points had I really tried in the last couple of months. But either way, it would have been a landslide victory for you no matter what. So that's rough. I think I won the year before at least.
Yeah, I'm going through it here. So our first year was 2022.
Yeah.
I was ones and zeros and you were Team Blueberry. And I beat you 215 to 131. Pretty bad year for you to start.
I either win or you
just don't show up. 2023, our second year, was you were Console Yourself. And I was cosmetics only.
Console yourself.
Yeah, console yourself. And I was cosmetics only. And who won that one?
Me.
Ooh, I won
266.
Wait, am I in the wrong thing?
I won that one. 266
you did.
244.
In a tight one.
Oh, that's 2020.
20 points.
Yeah, so that was a close race. And I won.
You won year 2.
I had Tears of the Kingdom.
I won last year. So it's now 2-1.
Yeah, you won last year. That's right. So 2-1. So with the alternating philosophy, I'm legally obligated to win this year.
And if you don't, it's going to be really embarrassing for you, basically.
Yeah. Yep, exactly.
This year, getting into 2025, we are ready. Would you believe it if I've done zero research and I have no idea? I have 4 games I know that are coming out. So this is going to be interesting. Hopefully you've done no research also.
Not a ton. I mean, like I know some of the big...
Do you have a spreadsheet in front of you?
I have... Fantasy Critic, and I now have Open Critic open.
All right, we're on the same page then. So this year, I am publisher, Wuthering Frames.
Oh, that's good.
And I'm competing against publisher who?
Frames. I am gamer. I hardly know her. Gets Levi every time for some reason. So.
It's pretty dumb. It's pretty dumb, but it's funnier than mine. I feel like mine's clever, but it's not that funny.
Yours is good. Yours is like funny in a clever way. Mine is like, God.
I almost went with the cord that hangs just to spite you, just for the inside joke.
I love that. But
I was like, publisher, the cord that hangs. But you know what? Sometimes you just
everyone else would be like, ew.
Yeah.
What are you talking about?
Anyways, if you want to know what that's about, go back to our December this month in gaming.
There's a little story time in there
for a grand story there. Wuthering Frames versus Gamer. I hardly know her. Let me see. Let's set our draft order. I believe we decided last year we're going to just start alternating. Is that right?
Yeah. I drafted. Who drafted?
You drafted first last year, so I'll go first this year.
Okay.
All right. Wuthering Frames. Confirm draft order. I believe it's set up as a snake draft.
Do I have to enter something, or I have to be on the page?
What do you mean? Do you have to enter something?
Do you have to is there like a specific page I go to, or is it just the 2025 page?
It should be the 2025 page.
Okay.
Let me see. If I select start drafting, let me know if it changes for you.
Okay.
Once you start drafting, you can no longer add or remove players. The draft order is locked. Okay, we should be fine. Yeah. Ooh, did it beep for you? It's my turn to draft.
No beeps.
Do you?
Let me refresh it though.
The draft is currently in progress.
Okay, it just didn't beep, but that's fine.
Gotcha. Okay, so here I am on the clock.
Okay,
Let's find out what's the best game of 2025 is. Let's see here.
Man, I feel like there's like one obvious pick in my mind, and I'm curious.
There's one obvious pick at one, huh?
But maybe not. You know, the thing about obvious things is
the game of 2025 is going to be Grand Theft Auto 6.
That's what I'm thinking of. But is it coming out?
They've continued to say that it is,
but I don't think we have. Like, I think it's just 2025. Like, I don't think we.
I mean, there's games that are like straight up, trying to get out of the way of Grand Theft Auto 6. So, like in terms of volume and sales
and review, I feel like those review pretty.
They do review really well too.
I mean, it's.
But you know what? I don't care about Grand Theft Auto 6 that much, so I'll take it if it falls to me. But I want something I'm excited about, and I'm going to pick.
Let me predict. Let me predict. I think you're going to pick Split Fiction.
You think I'm going to take Split Fiction number 1?
Yeah.
Mad Lat. Hold on. What did It Takes Two get? I don't think it reviewed that high. No, it didn't. 102. Oh my goodness, it was an 88. It was good.
That's actually
a lot higher than I would have expected that to have gotten.
Okay, so not Split Fiction. My guess is wrong. I have another guess as to what you'll take.
It's too soon for Split Fiction. Go. Well, let's see. Just doing a quick little bit of research. Wow, that reviewed lower than I thought.
Oh,
would you believe that Ghost of Tsushima was an 84?
Yes, because I remember.
That's wild.
So you were gonna pick Ghost of Yote.
All right, well then I'm taking Monster Hunter Wilds, baby.
Dang it, Monster Hunter Wilds was my first pick.
Yeah, I mean it's gonna
get good points.
Monster Hunter doesn't miss. It's the new mainline game. They don't really make bad games, and they don't make bad Monster Hunter games, at least not for a long time. So
yep.
And also that one has a secure date. That one's coming out in like 2 months. So
it does. That's probably the best pick in my opinion. And I was hoping.
Well, thank you.
I was hoping you wouldn't look up Ghost of Tsushima's score.
And
I was hoping you'd want Split.
Look at my glasses, Zach. Do you think I'm just gonna pick willy nilly?
I was hoping.
Scream intelligence.
I was hoping. So I might as well give up now. Just kidding.
I mean, you took Final Fantasy VII Rebirth, so you're right.
I think Hollow Knight Silk Song. This is the year.
It's got to be it, right?
It does feel like
the year to take it number 2.
It's one of those things where it's like I feel like it's this year or nothing for that game. You know what I mean? Like if it doesn't come out this year, something's wrong. Something's really wrong.
We said those exact same words last year.
But really, it's seriously actually wrong. I think if it doesn't come out this year, they're dead in a ditch or something. I don't know. No, so part of me wants to take Ghost of Yote, but I feel like it's gonna. A lot of people aren't happy that it's a different character. I feel like it's a little bit riskier of a game. Like I feel like it'll do well. I feel like it's probably still going to be in the low 80s at least, but I feel like I'm not confident it's going to get more than an 85. So for a first pick, that doesn't seem right. Grand Theft Auto feels like an obvious thing to pick up right now.
I mean, at 2, it's hard to say it isn't.
Yeah. And then let's see.
I mean, I do think it's probably unanimously like the top pick of the year.
I'm just worried
people,
I think it's set for fall. At least it's not winter. So
but they originally had it set for 24 and then delayed it, right?
Yeah. So I mean, are they going to delay it a full year again? Maybe.
It could happen. I do feel like as we get further from 2020, delays are becoming less of a sure thing. Like literally for 2 years there, it was like you don't even take dates. You don't take years seriously.
Yeah, and I feel like post Cyberpunk they're a little bit more cognizant in the fact that
and last year I feel like a lot of dates hit more. I mean, you had a couple that slipped, but I feel like a lot of games really hit their dates last year actually.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It's kind of hard to juggle. Are we in a new era where people are?
I feel like there's a good chance it comes out this year. I'm gonna do it.
Oh, you took it.
I took it. GT6. Oh, and I get to go again, right? Because it's
you got the snake draft. So
okay.
I
Now,
better start making a watch list here because it's going to get. Oh, by the way, before we get too far, I did make a couple changes I forgot to outline at the beginning of this. So we did 20 games last year, which was a bump up, more games. I thought that was perfect. It's nice to have more to do throughout the year.
yes, I agree.
But I did notice, to me, it felt like I would like there to be a little bit more games that we can add throughout the year, because it felt like at the beginning of the year, so little,
Yeah,
And
agreed.
so last year we drafted 12 and we filled in 8 afterwards. This year I moved it to we draft 10 and we fill in 10 afterwards.
Okay.
So it's a little less on the draft, a little more after the draft. And then the other thing I changed is, with us having so many games, and I know you did not participate in this feature last year, but I changed it to 3 counter picks just to make things spicy. During the draft, we will have to pick 1 counter pick, but over the course of the year, we will each have to select 2 additional counter picks, just to really put our feet to the fire and make us have to either say, hey, something's not coming out, or I think it's going to be a low score. I think that's just a fun dynamic addition. So let me know if you have any complaints, concerns, questions. I think that's about it, though.
Yep. Okay.
Sound good?
That sounds good.
Oh, I forgot I had tea.
All right.
What are you thinking there?
I'm debating
Gamer,
Elden
I hardly
Ring.
know her.
I'm debating Elden Ring.
Night Rain.
Yeah.
I'd say I'm surprised, but I mean, they don't seem to do less than 90.
But this is such a different thing. It feels stupid to pass up.
How much do you trust FromSoft? Because this is a trust fall.
It is, but it's different enough from all their stuff that I don't know that it's. I mean, it'll still probably review pretty well. Man, I don't know. You know what? I'm gonna pick.
Yeah, I mean, I trust them at this point. I don't know what else to say about FromSoft. They just, until proven otherwise. And the thing about them too is, people don't even care if their games come out like running like crap. They still get a 90. Like Elden Ring ran like crap at launch.
True.
And it got a. Oh, you went for Split. You suck. I definitely wanted that.
Fiction. Like, you know, that has a date, and their previous game did really well and came in at an 88 for It Takes Two. I think this is going to do pretty well.
It's kind of a nice balance you got there between 6 and Split Fiction.
Yeah, that's a game I'm more excited about. Like Grand Theft Auto 6 isn't as much my thing, so I wanted something I'm excited about, but also I think, I don't know. I don't want to talk too much because I should let you just
tell me everything that you're thinking. That makes me sad. 1 is too early to take Split Fiction, but I did want it on my list.
But 3 was like maybe now, because I figured you were going to
pick that up. 3 to 5 is when it's going to get picked. So yeah, I mean, it probably wouldn't have made it back to you.
Okay, let's see.
Oh,
what do you got next?
Me. I wanted Split Fiction.
Trying to talk me into Elden Ring.
I smell a trade coming.
Yeah, you were trying to talk me into Elden Ring.
Well, I think it'll review good. It's just I was hoping to get Split Fiction. That was my true duplicitous motivation there. Oh man. And there's still some really good games sitting here.
There
got 2 in a row.
It's a tough pick because there's multiple that like all would have been good picks at number 3.
I gotta play some strategy here based on what I think you will care about next too. After page 1, it gets rough though. I am noticing that very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
I'm going to Elden Ring Night Rain. Oh my goodness. I don't know, dude. Here's the thing. I think it's going to be great.
I'm sure it'll be good.
FromSoft only make great stuff, but the multiplayer element, if things aren't working great multiplayer wise at launch.
Yeah, if they have server issues or something.
They've never done their multiplayer's always been straight garbaggio.
Yeah.
That's my only hesitation with Night Rain. So I think I definitely have to take Ghost of Yotei here at 4.
I did want
There's
that
just
on my
no
list.
way.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, short of Split Fiction, Ghost of Yotei. Ghost of Yotei might be I mean, Split Fiction, Ghost of Yotei, probably my two most anticipated games of the year.
Yeah, same. I wanted to pick Ghost of Yotei because I would say that's my number one most anticipated. However, because Tsushima didn't review as like I think Ghost of Tsushima was a 9.8 out of 10, or maybe it was like for me it was nearly a perfect game when I
Yeah.
played it, but it got an 84. And so that's the kind
I
of
think
thing I'm worried about,
I
but
think unless they screw something up, Ghost of Yotei is going to beat that, because I do think Ghost of Tsushima had this. I think it's endeared. I think people have become endeared to it post launch more than maybe
yeah,
it was
that's true.
at launch. And I mean, maybe that's just anecdotally from my perspective. I feel that way. When I first played Ghost of Tsushima, I was like, yeah, 84, that's a good game. As the years have gone on, it's like it is appreciated in my estimate. Like I really love Ghost of Tsushima
Yeah.
and a lot of what it did. So if they don't screw it up and they make a good
It could do
sequel,
higher.
it
I
being a
definitely
new
think it could do higher.
character, is a variable that I love and
She
don't love,
seems
because
cool though.
also,
Yeah.
yeah, but also if it was him again, then it's like, could it be stale? At least it's going to
Right.
feel really brand new.
That's true. That's true.
All right, pick number 5. I am screaming into the microphone. Let me quiet down.
Really
And
curious what you're going to do here.
dude, this is the first pick I think that is tough. Elden Ring Night Rain does have a date, right? No, they just said 2025. I thought they said summer 2025.
I don't remember. Yeah, it's just listed as 2025.
I swear they even picked a month.
But it's I don't remember.
Let me see here. Let me do a quick little Google, little search here. Do a little song to entertain people while
Me do the song, or you're going to do a song?
I'm busy. You have to do the song.
Oh man, I didn't sign
What the
up for
heck?
this.
That is not
You
what I
should have done your
looked up.
research ahead of
Internet.
time.
That's true. It is definitely my fault.
Yeah. Or
I'm
just
confused about.
use
Dude,
your
this is not
intuition.
This is not helping. All right, my intuition says
My song is just berating you while you look.
so melodic. A siren song.
Yeah.
You suck. Do better. Dude, what is happening? I am typing things in on my keyboard, and then when I push enter, a different thing has been entered.
Yeah.
Let me try one more time before I give up. There it is. What? Dude, all right. I don't know. I'm going to have to go.
What's it gonna be?
What's more exciting? I'm going to go boring, but safe. And I'm going to pick up Sid Meier's Civilization 7.
Dang, that was one of my next picks. That is.
It's got a date. It's going to get high 80s.
Yeah, it's gonna do well.
It's not exciting. It's not sexy.
I don't care about it, but it's gonna do well. That was a good strategic play. That was gonna be one of my next picks, actually.
It was tough because it's like you want to play with your heart, but
you do. But can you do that?
That was a brain play.
Maybe not always. Okay.
Gamer I Hardly Know Her is on the clock with his third pick and the 6th.
How long do I have on the
selection.
clock?
About 14 seconds left.
That's quick.
There's no clock.
Okay. I thought there was a clock.
There's I mean, usually
the clock
there's
up
in like a draft, but
and I'm out of time.
We get paid by the hour, so
right. Oh, I feel like I should pick Elden Ring at this point, but
yeah, man, you gonna let Elden Ring fall to pick 8?
Maybe.
What are you gonna do? What are you gonna do, Zach? What are you gonna do? For those listening along, we've got Elden Ring Night Rain, Metroid Prime 4, Doom: The Dark Ages, Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii, Death Stranding 2, Avowed.
Metroid Prime Beyond is my next pick.
That's probably a pretty good pick. I was trying to look up what the last Metroid Prime got, and that's where I was really having trouble. Like,
the actual mainline.
Yeah,
the actual mainline game was so long ago.
Probably not even a good reference.
I don't know that it's a great reference, but those games are good, and I think it's Nintendo, when it's their mainline games, they tend to do pretty good. So
is Metroid Prime a mainline game for Nintendo? They've never treated Metroid like a mainline game.
Metroid Prime, I think, is mainline. I think it's up there.
I would agree. I think so.
Yeah, it's
It
it's
looks
not
good.
Mario, but I think they're treating it in that tier.
I think I was debating picking that or Sid Meier's, so
Yeah.
it's totally fair. It has that kind of like polarizing factor of like it looks really good, people are really excited for it, but also if it kind of screws something up, maybe that could backfire. But I think it's a good pick.
Yeah.
So
And my next pick is Doom: The Dark Ages.
Doom, interest. I'm not sure I would have seen that coming. What did Doom Eternal get?
I
People
think they were
liked it a
high
little
80s.
less, right?
I think Doom Eternal was like 88. Maybe I'm
It
wrong.
was an 89. People didn't
89.
like
There you
that.
go.
What was
People did like
Doom
that.
2016?
I don't know why people didn't like it. People liked it. There might have been a
Oh
few
wow, it
vocal
got a
critics.
better review than Doom 2016. I thought that
Yeah.
Eternal.
Now Returnal
I
was
mean,
great.
the sentiment I got from Eternal was that people liked it less than 2016, like generally
It's
speaking.
funny how you can get a sentiment and it just does not match up with it. My
Well,
experience,
we know that the reviews don't ever
they don't.
match up with
Although
anything,
I will say
anyways.
I played Doom Eternal. It was awesome. Doom Eternal was great.
Well,
So
dang, now I'm second guessing. You did leave Elden Ring all the way down here, though. I
I
did
know
not see that coming.
I feel stupid. I feel like I should have picked up Elden Ring.
Well, I'm gonna trust in FromSoft. Are you kidding me? I'm gonna take Night Rain at 7.
Yeah, that makes sense.
That's
I
silly.
probably should have picked that up.
And then I'm going to. I think this is a pretty easy pick for me as well. Ooh, there's only one hesitation with this. Only one hesitation, but I'm pretty sure it's going to come out this year. I'm going to say Death Stranding 2 is my 8th pick, or my 5th pick number 9. Back
Nice.
to you.
Those are good
I'm
picks.
actually really excited about Death Stranding 2.
Those are really good picks.
I think like Ghost of Tsushima, Death Stranding 2 wasn't very understood at launch, and I think the people that like it,
Yeah.
it's grown on people, and I think
Yeah.
people know more what to expect from the sequel. It's going to be weird. There's going to be some weird specific gameplay, whether
Agreed.
it's similar traveling, delivering packages. I'm here for it. So
Yeah, I do think it's going to do better than it did at launch, but I still think those games are weird enough. It was a risk as a very early pick. Also, I don't know how confident they are that it's coming out this year. I don't know if that's been confirmed or not. It's
it
just estimated
hasn't
this
been
year.
confirmed, but there was talks of 24, and then I feel pretty good about 25.
Yeah, that's a good pick though.
We're kind of out of the realm of release dates at this point. There's not a
Yeah,
ton that has release dates.
that
So
those are both good picks. I either had you not picked those two up, those would have been my next two picks for sure. So good picks. Okay, now things
pick
get interesting.
number 10.
Things get interesting. This is my 5th pick. It's another one of those things of like, do I want to go with something I'm more interested in, or do I want to go with something I think will do well?
Always follow your heart to the bottom of the league, to last place.
Yeah, no kidding. No kidding. I'm
gonna add some stuff to my wish list while I'm sitting here because we're at that point. Oh, that one has a interesting. Some of these things have windows that you wouldn't think have windows. It's also tough. Like we're at a point now with the industry where it used to be E3 was the time of year where we would get all these dates and information for the year. And with E3 kind of giving way to Game Awards, it's like, when do we get these dates for games now?
Yeah.
Because the spring was the time where it's like, all right, here's what the year looks like. And we got a little bit of that last year where you went all out on that Xbox showcase.
Yeah.
But we got so much more after that. Astrobot wasn't announced till
That's
August,
true.
I don't think.
Which is why it's good to like leave more open, I think. But
yeah,
my next pick is Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater.
Ooh, okay. I had my eye on that one.
Yeah, that's probably going to hit well, and it seems like it's going to hit this year. Okay, and now my next pick. Do I pick Silk Song? Is this the time? Number 6?
It's definitely got to be the time. Do it.
It's got to be, right? But I think what I'm actually going to do. This one, I can't tell if this is a risk or a good idea. And I don't know if you're going to pick
I
this
can't
next.
help you. I can't help you.
But I think...
A risk or a good idea?
I think this is what I'm going to do. I think I'm going to pick unannounced Mario mainline 3D platformer.
You son of a gun.
Because the Switch 2 is coming out this year. That seems like pretty locked in. And what are they going to release with the Switch? What are they going to release with Switch 2? I think it's going to be a Mario game. It's
either going to be a 90 or I'm going to counterpick it and it doesn't come out this year. So
yeah, it's going one way or the other. I think there's because they're releasing the Switch 2 and we haven't had a Mario mainline game in a while. Like this feels like the game that will come out with the Switch 2. So that's my pick. Is that your next pick?
Slightly better at this game than you've been. Yeah, that was one of my two next ones. I was debating taking it last turn, but I was like, it's way down on the list. Zach's not even going to see it.
That's what I was. Well, I'm just thinking about it because I know the Switch 2 is coming out, and it's like that's got to be coming. So
shoot, man, shoot. Now I got to pick some crap game here.
There's still good stuff. You should.
Dragon even. I mean, that game looks stinking weird. What is like a Dragon?
You know, I haven't even played. I don't know the deal with those games, but a lot of people.
Okay.
They review well. I think they've done in the mid to high 80s. I think the last mainline one did like a 90.
And Avowed has low 80s written all over it, in my opinion.
It does. I want Avowed because I had Avowed last year and it got moved, but it's also, even if it's really good, I feel like it's going to do low.
It previewed really well. Oh gosh, man. Golly gee. Wow, how many do I have left? I have 5 picks left still. Oh, I was hoping one of those was going to be Mario. Doggone it, man.
Well, that's the way the cookie crumbles.
Yeah, so far my regrets are Split Fiction and Mario. I like my list though, but yeah, that's
I think we both have a pretty good lineup, but I know what you mean.
I mean, two people.
I'm sad to not have Ghost of Yotei.
Yeah.
Honestly, Ghost of Yotei, I also wanted Death Stranding.
It's all right. We can talk trades. I'll have my people call your people.
Yeah, we'll figure it out.
I don't have anything calling out to me here right now. We've got Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. What a name! What a name that is.
What a name!
Those games that possibly get above an 85? I
don't know.
Have a hard time believing that. Avowed above an 85. Have a hard time believing it. Hollow Knight Silk Song. I don't believe that game exists any longer. I think Team Cherry might have been consumed by some sort of boa constrictor or fallen into a vat of Vegemite. I'm not sure what's become of them.
Something.
Outer Worlds 2 looks quirky and fun. What did that one get? The Outer Worlds.
I think that was also mid 80s.
Yes, the Outer Worlds, the thing I typed in, 83.
Yeah, that's another one. I mean, it's the same thing. I feel this one does look a little better. I feel like it will improve, but that's the question is it going to be an 84, 85, or is it going to be high 80s?
Expedition 33, I am very...
That I'm interested in,
way, man.
But that feels like such a coin toss.
And it's their first game, I believe, from that studio.
Yeah, not a lot of... a lot of
going
yellow to red flags. A lot of yellow to red flags there.
I got to step dancing around here and find something. Assassin's Creed Shadows. There it is.
I had that on my list last year and it got moved.
I just feel like, I mean, Ubisoft's betting their whole company on this game, so it's like if it were ever going to be good, this is the time.
Yeah.
All right, we got 5 games left. I got to try and avoid stuff that's not going to launch. That's kind of my biggest game, I think, right now.
That's the hard thing, for sure.
Okay. All right. I'm going to go with... Man, I feel like a crazy person, but I'm going to take Hollow Knight Silk Song.
Wow. Now you've given me the hardest decision. Do I counterpick this?
I mean, here's the deal. We've already been at this point for years now, but legitimately, if we don't hear about this game this year,
that's what I just said.
I think it's canceled.
I literally just said that.
Yeah, but I mean, no, but I mean, people are like, this has got to be the year it's coming out. I don't feel that way. I just feel like we've seen previews of this game. We know that
Yeah.
some piece of it exists somewhere.
We've saw
We
previews a little
know
while ago.
we know they're really good. I mean, they made Hollow Knight.
Yeah, they're
So unless
capable.
something happened like personally with them,
That's
I
what
do feel like if this
that's what
game
I mean
exists, it
too. Is
has
like
to be out this year.
that's what I'm saying too. Like it has to be this year because it's been long enough. They've got to like be putting this out unless
And
something is really really wrong, and not
I'm
just
not
like
saying it's coming out this year. I'm just saying if it is coming out, I think it has to be this year. And then if
Yep.
it doesn't come out this year, I think it's time to move on completely, which I think a lot of us already have emotionally from that game. It's been
which is why I feel like it
very
has to come out this year unless something is wrong, like on a personal level or some weird, like something unexpected.
This is tough. Honestly, between Like a Dragon, Outer Worlds doesn't have an official release date. I'm gonna take a swing on Avowed. It's previewed well. I think it pick what is this? My pick 8. 1, 2,
Yeah,
3, 4,
it's
5,
not a bad
6,
pick.
7. Pick 7. I'm excited about Avowed. If it can get me 10 to 15 points, I'll be
Yeah.
happy about that.
Yep. Oh, now I'm in a hard spot.
I know I think the top 10 games were pretty easy for 2025. And then beyond that, it's really kind of tough to sift
It
through
really is.
what's coming out. There's just all these games that are so polarizing, like Assassin's Creed Shadows. I mean, do they finally they took an extra 6 months, maybe a year? Does this game come out and really hit like an Assassin's Creed Origins did back in the day? Or is this Ubisoft bottoming out and we see them kind of sell the company this year and Shadows as a 76 and underperforms, you know?
Yep.
All of my stuff on my watch list you took, you jerk. I have to remove all of this from my watch list.
Man, I am in such a hard decision. I think Avowed was probably my next pick. And that's gone.
I'm glad I could do a fraction of what you did to me by taking Unannounced Mario.
Yeah, I get it. I mean, Unannounced Mario is going to do well when it comes out. So the Outer Worlds 2, isn't that the same team as Avowed?
Yeah, yes, I believe it is.
Are they going to come out with both of those games this year? That feels weird.
You know, I don't think it's crazy because Avowed was slated for fall last year. And they only pushed it because of like the window. They said it had nothing. They said the game was ready, but
yeah,
Xbox
but I mean, from a marketing
to,
and like financial standpoint, is it a smart move to release 2 games in a single year versus like?
I mean, it's the what is Avowed is coming out in February. What's the date on that?
I don't think Outer Worlds 2 has like any specific date.
That's my point. If Outer Worlds comes out in September or October, I just don't think that has anything to do with Avowed in February. You know?
Yeah, I just wonder if they might push that till early next year. You know?
You never know. You never know.
But maybe they try and release it around the holidays. I don't know.
Yeah, my point was just that the first half of the year and the second half of the year are so far apart that I don't think as a company you wouldn't want to put a game out like month to month or 2 months away. But I think beginning and end of year.
Yeah.
What are your thoughts on Borderlands 4?
Man, I have no idea what to think about Borderlands anymore. I don't know. How did the last one review? I actually wasn't even paying attention to Borderlands. Great. But you know what? I'll take it. I don't think the last one was 81.
Yeah. I feel like the sentiment's going to be better on 4 because I don't know. It seems like they're getting a little bit away from the writing's been really bad. I feel like the writing looks like it's going to be better for 4.
Yeah, agreed. Okay, I need to go ahead and just pick something.
What are you going to do, Zach?
Man, I feel like part of me feels like I should pick Assassin's Creed Shadows, but that's another one because it has a February date, but it's also like
that
true. Looks kind of cool.
True.
That looks kind of cool,
but I also I'm probably not going to counterpick it because I'm not one to take negative points if I don't have to.
But I also feel like I don't know how I feel about that one. Should I do something a little crazy?
I think you should follow your heart, like I said, to last place.
I think I'm going to do something a little crazy.
Can you get spicy?
I'm going to get spicy.
Hold on, I got to see if I can see what this is before you say it.
All right.
Did you click it? Let me see. If I reload, is that going to ruin everything? It
Let's
hasn't. It
see.
hasn't showed up.
Okay.
Did you draft it?
What's your reaction?
Mario Kart.
Mario Kart.
You think they're gonna do a new
Because
one?
that's the risk, right? But I kind of feel like with the Switch, they're gonna like the Switch is gonna come out, and I feel like they're gonna
You think
want.
we're gonna get a mainline Mario and a new Mario Kart
I said it was
and
crazy.
Metroid Prime?
Oh, I forgot about Metroid Prime, which I also drafted. That's a little risky, but I feel like that's a different type of game that they like to have,
And
and I
if they
feel like
port it, which I think is most likely, they're just gonna port Mario Kart 8
they
over,
might, they might.
and that's
So
not gonna count for you.
that might be a risk. That maybe that's a counter pick.
Maybe that's
Maybe
a
that's a
counter
counter
pick for
pick.
me. You got one more, right? Hurry up, man.
I got one
Let's get
more.
this.
Okay.
Actually, we're making great on time because we only have a couple draft picks left. So
Yeah, because of how we're doing
waste
it.
some time, Zach.
Yeah. Okay, so I need something that's more for sure. It's gonna come earlier in the year. Something I think is gonna.
So Assassin's Creed Shadows, here it comes.
Here it comes. You called it.
Here, never mind. Citizen Sleeper 2. That's probably a good pick. What was the first one?
I think the first one was high 80s, if I remember correctly. And I haven't played this. I've heard really good things about it. This
84.
comes out soon. Yeah, so I think this will review well. And it just looks cool. I wanted
Does it have
something
a
a little
date?
different. Yeah, it's end of January, I think.
Oh, that's a good pick then.
It seems
I
like
mean,
a good
if you can
early.
guarantee yourself about 15 points a month
That's
from
kind of
now,
how I'm feeling. It looks, and it also feels neat. Like I want some things on my list that I'm like, that feels just cool and a little different, you know? So that's kind of my thinking there.
well, Zach,
All right, what are you going to pick?
Hold on, how many picks do I have left? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I've got 3 picks left. Not loving my last round here. Silk Song and Avowed scares me a little bit. I think I'm gonna do what I'm gonna do. So let's just do what I'm gonna do. Let me take a gander down this list a little bit further and just see if there's anything else that catches me eye. Wow, we get into some stuff I don't even know what it is. Just a few pages down. Okay, yeah, I'm gonna try and go for some safe points here. We're gonna go Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition.
I was thinking about that. That's a smart pick.
It's
a pretty boring pick. You should feel ashamed, but you are.
I'm going boring. You want to see some more boring, ashamedly sad picks? We're gonna go with Donkey Kong Country Returns HD.
Yeah,
my 9th pick.
Lame. Okay, So now the real question.
The points all count the same.
The real question is, what do I do?
The real question we should all be asking is, what am I going to draft next? I only have one. 10. Maybe I should have bumped the number of games to like 25. 10 feels quick, but at the same time, we're already at games where I don't even know what to pick next. So,
all right. So, is Fable a stupid pick? Fable, I'm interested in, but
I feel like Fable
is that going to get delayed?
I feel like Fable is Xbox's like prime game for 2025. That's what it seems like.
It does, but
we've been getting trailers for like 3 years now. They said 2025 last year, right?
Yep.
I have no frame. It looks like they're, I don't want to say God of War, but like their big budget game for 2025.
It's set to launch in late 2025. That's risky.
Yeah, I'm guessing they're holiday 2025.
Is there anything else Xbox has around the holidays? I'm trying to think.
I don't think so.
So that's a pick.
I mean, they've got Outer Worlds, but Outer Worlds is not that caliber.
No, it's not. Yeah, so Indiana Jones worked for me. Maybe Fable is going to be their next thing, and that's going to work for me too.
And hey, they've shown that they'll put stuff out in December. That's when Indiana Jones came out.
That's true. Okay, and I do feel like Xbox has to be careful. They've had a lot of flubs in the past year or two. Like they really need to be consistent. Okay, I'm going to do Fable because I'm also interested in Fable. So I don't know.
Follow
That
your heart.
feels like a risky pick.
My friend, follow your heart.
So now
Honestly, man, I'm thinking next year we add a couple games because I actually do think we should probably have gone to 12. But
is there any way to do that in post? And
is there any way to do it? Let's see here. Let me take a look at these settings.
You look
here.
at that while I think.
Oh, you have another one. I thought I was up.
No,
Yeah, I'll look at it.
A 10th to pick.
Remove player, reset draft under the Silence is golden.
Yeah, I forgot this is a podcast. We should be talking. So I got Fable.
I don't think I see.
Man.
Watch list.
Assassin's Creed Shadows. I'm just so torn.
There?
I feel like
still there.
I feel like I should pick Assassin's Creed Shadows, right? Like that feels like the obvious thing to pick. That's going to be.
You know it's going to come out. You know it's going to come out, and you know it's going to be
decent. At least.
it's not. It can't get you less than 8 points. I don't think.
Yeah, that's kind of the question, right? Is it going to be 12 points or 8 points? And neither of those are like super appealing.
I mean, what did
was Valhalla the last one?
Valhalla, what did that get?
I got an 83.
I think this will be better than Valhalla. I don't know.
So too.
It's hard to say.
But are we getting tired of like samurai stuff?
It's going to be compared to Ghost of Tsushima, but it's such a different game.
It's going to come out before Ghost of Tsushima at least.
No, I just mean like Ghost of Tsushima, not Ghost
the original. Of right, yeah. This does look cool.
Such a different game, I think.
This feels like, but I feel like a Dragon Pirate Yakuza will probably get a little higher of points, but I just know nothing about that franchise, and it just feels like a weird thing to pick.
To me, it feels like a DLC. I know it's not, but it really has DLC energy, and that's what's scaring me.
Yeah, if it was a mainline Yakuza, I might have picked it up.
If it was mainline Yakuza, I would have picked it several rounds ago. It's giving me DLC energy, and that's spooking me.
Okay,
spooking me a little bit.
I think I'm gonna do Assassin's Creed. I think that makes sense.
All right, so you got one pick left, right? Or no, that was it for you? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
That's it. Those are my 10
Shadows.
All right, what are you gonna get?
That is the real question, Zach. Is what am I gonna pick?
That's true, but the thing I've actually been thinking is probably more fundamental. Is what would you pick next?
What would I pick next? There's a couple games here I'm interested in for sure.
I know. I'm curious.
Pokemon Legends ZA.
Yeah.
You know what? I don't know. Pokemon's such a dumpster.
It is. Like, that's why I almost went for it because it's like everyone loves Pokemon, and everyone's always talking about Pokemon always reviews well, but I don't think that's necessarily true lately.
I think we've finally reached a boiling point where their quality has caught up with them.
Yeah,
because it took way too long.
Because Pokemon Legends Arceus actually did pretty well. Maybe I should have picked that.
Dude. Hold on. I have to do a quick little Google. Oh my gosh, I can't type.
Pokemon Scarlet and Violet got a 71. That's what I was thinking.
That's not good.
But Legends Arceus got an 84. Which is kind of crazy to me, actually. I feel like 84? That was not an 84. Yeah. We played that. World. I think it was just...
Hey, you know what? To be fair, that is the only Pokemon game I've ever played. So...
honestly...
I've avoided all of them, and then they were like, hey, it's kind of open world, and I was like, you know what? It looks like trash, but I'll play it anyways, and that's what got me in.
Yep.
That's what got me in the door.
So I don't know. I feel like with Z to A or ZA or whatever, are the expectations higher because we've already gotten an open world? I mean, it's fully open world.
I don't know.
But also, are they putting more into it? Is going to be better. It's hard to say.
I'm really interested in South of Midnight, but that one I really could see being 2026. I don't feel as confident about that being 25.
There's enough risk factor. I'm personally very excited for South of Midnight, but there's enough risk around that game that
Professor Layton and the New World of Steam. What the actual heck is
that? That's a must pick, if you ask me.
Professor Layton. Watch that be the highest reviewed game of the year. Okay. I'm between two games, Zach.
What are they? I've already
On the
picked, so
one
you might as
hand,
well tell me.
like a dragon, we're
Yeah.
talking 10 to 15 points guaranteed in the first 2 months.
Yeah, you're getting at least
You
10 points for
love
that.
you love to see release dates like that.
Yeah, release date, at least 10 points.
I pick that when it starts pushing you towards counterpicking Hollow Knight or something that could be dangerous on my list. Outer Worlds 2, I'm actually really intrigued by, but that one's really vague on the release date so far.
It is. And
It scares me
yeah.
just a little bit. I think
Yeah.
it'll be this year, but in the
But
draft, I don't know if I want to do. I don't want to do
yeah.
that. Expedition 33, I actually think looks really cool, but I also feel like with it being the first game from the studio, it could
It's
be a
high
90
risk.
or it could be like a 72.
Yeah,
Like
I agree.
it could be all over the place. I don't know what
I'm
to
very
expect from
excited
that
for
game.
it, but it's hard to know what it's going to be.
I am gonna go. Trying to play some 4D chess here. I think if I don't pick it up, it's going to be picked up immediately when we're done with the draft. So I'm just going to take Like a Dragon
That makes sense.
because it's got a date. I want to make it harder for your counter pick here.
Yeah.
And it's a no-brainer pickup after the draft. So I feel like my second half of my draft, I really lost my way, but I started tilting ever since the Mario pick. That's what happened to me. Do we have, so what's the deal? Is it asking you for a counter pick or? Yeah.
Yes.
So
All
what
right.
are you going to do? What are you going to do, Zach? You going to
So-
counter pick Hollow Knight?
That is tempting, obviously, but I think because it's this year or nothing, it feels more risky almost to counterpick it.
It's
because
it's the most risky it's ever been. Every year it becomes more and more risky on both ends.
It's
High
higher stakes. So, and the thing is, I don't want to
Would you have picked it? Would you have picked it in your 10 if I didn't pick it up?
I think I would have picked it at 9 or 10. Yeah.
One of us would have picked it. That's what
I think one
knew,
of us would have picked it.
I lean 60-40 that it's got to come out this year.
That's how I feel. And that's why it's a tough counter pick, because I feel like it is going to come out. Like, I think they've done enough work here. I think they will release it. And I think it has to be this year. I also want it to be this year. So that feels like a sucky thing.
At some point, we should stitch together every year of us saying that about Hollow Knight Silk Song during these drafts and just make like a 5-minute video.
Yeah. So let's see. I mean, Avowed. It's hard to say. I think Avowed sounds like the people who've played it have had fun with it. So I think that's not a great counter pick, because I think it's going to
be a niche game.
I think it'll be niche, but yeah, I think it'll be low 80s, so it'd still not be a great counter pick. Death Stranding 2, what I think is going to do pretty good as well. Donkey Kong Country Returns. Sometimes these remaster remake things don't score as well as you think, so maybe that's a counter pick.
I agree, but Donkey Kong Country is, how do you mess that up?
I mean, yeah, I agree.
That's one of the all timers.
It
that
is.
one to me,
like
the reason I picked it is it felt like
feels like they have to.
It felt like a 1,000-year door, not quite 1,000-year door, but like, I don't know. It feels pretty sure to me.
Yeah, it does. Elden Ring is actually a little risky, but I think even if it doesn't review well for FromSoft, it'll still be low 80s, So I think kind of the same deal. I think you've done a good job of filling out a roster that is all probable low 80s or higher. Monster Hunter Wilds is going to do great. Civilization 7 is probably going to do great. Same with Xenoblade. I think the high risk, high reward pick for me is
Tell me
Silk
more
Song.
about how great my list is.
It's a good list. The high risk, high reward. I feel like my list is probably a little easier to counter pick, to be honest. But even though I think my list is good. So the high risk, high reward pick is Silk Song. But the safer pick, I think, is Yakuza, because I think that there's a chance that does 80, 81, and it's not as many points.
Yeah.
But I think let's get spicy.
You lock in Hollow Knight?
Let's get spicy. This is going to burn one of us, and I think it's going to be me. I'm going to pick Silk Song.
Really? Yeah. I would have thought you'd play it a little safer here this year, trying to keep.
I probably should have. I regret it already.
I was hoping you wouldn't, because I have no confidence.
Yeah.
I hope that after this year, it's either out or they just say it's canceled, because every year this is torture.
Or if they tell us, hey, we had to scrap everything, it's going to be
We're
years.
starting something, because every
Yeah.
year it's just like, we got to pick Hollow Knight Silksong. Someone
Yeah.
has to pick it,
I would just
because
want to know if it's, hey, we got years ahead of us. There's something that's going to happen, but it's going to be a long time. At
dude,
least we can stop worrying
I
about it.
think
But
Silksong has been counterpicked 3 years in a row in our league.
I think it has, and I think it's going to burn me this year because I think it's a little more likely to come out than not. But I still
With the
that was a
Switch 2, I feel like this is the year they shadow drop it.
yeah
I think there's been so much drama about this game and people waiting for it to happen, that I don't even think they come out with a date. I think they shadow drop it at
yeah.
this point, which
That's
I wouldn't have
actually
thought possible because of the hype of this game. But I feel like the arc that this game has gone through, now it would be really good for it to just be like, it's here, and then
I think
everyone
they
lose
either
their
shadow
minds.
drop it or they do a very brief campaign where they say, hey, like at one of the
It's
big
coming
like
out
the
next
Summer
month or
Games
something,
Fest or
maybe.
something. They say it's coming out next month, or it's 6 weeks from now. We have a date.
Because they don't even have to market this game.
They don't.
They don't.
No, they
So
don't.
yeah, I will see, man. If I get stuck with Silksong all year, swear to God.
I'm mainly doing this because it'll be funny if it happens, and if it
Oh
doesn't,
my gosh.
I think either way, I'm gonna take a negative 10 to 15. I'll take a negative 2021 just for the chance at it being funny.
You know, what if it comes out and it's like an 82? We've never really considered that
That's true.
possibility
And that is a possibility because for an indie game, that's a decent score. It's like, what if
with
it
how
is a
long
little
it's been.
disappointing? Yeah, and it's like, what if it is just comparatively, it doesn't quite hit the highs or it doesn't innovate enough? There's that risk too.
Yeah. Yeah.
I think it'll review well, but
All
I
right.
think it'll be
So
close to 90 or
I'm
90.
looking at your list here to try and pick my counter pick.
I feel like I know what you're gonna pick.
I mean, the obvious answer is Mario Kart,
Yes.
because I don't see Nintendo coming out with a new Mario Kart. I just don't see. I think we saw them port Mario Kart 8 to Switch from Wii, and then we saw them add DLC to it. And I'm not saying we'll never get a new Mario Kart, but I think Nintendo have shown that they're more than happy to just be like, "Hey, Switch 2 is out. You have to rebuy it on the Switch." I don't know. Would they do that? I
The
guess
tough thing is I could
that's
see
the
Nintendo
dilemma,
doing
is they
either one.
want the money. So a new Mario Kart makes people rebuy Mario Kart on Switch
That's
2.
what I'm thinking is when
But
people who bought the Switch, they bought the ported version.
I don't know if they can actually
And I
like make
think
people
with the
pay for Mario
Switch,
Kart 8 again.
if the Switch comes out, we say we got like the Switch comes out, say April, May, the Switch 2, and it comes with the new mainline Mario game. Then I think they're going to want one big single player title later in the year, and I feel like they might want something multiplayer to keep people engaged. That's kind of why I feel like that's
Yeah.
a pretty well
But
rounded
here's the
year. That's a
deal.
lot, but
Here's
it's
the
not
deal.
crazy.
Right now, Mario Kart 8 has all the DLC. It's add-on, or it's part of the online. Here's what they'll do. They'll bundle everything into the base game, sell it for $60 as a definitive edition, which would not count for you. So
True.
that's the obvious pick. Other than that, I'm looking at.
I feel like there's one other pick, maybe two other picks that could
There's
be
a
good.
chance there's not a mainline Mario platformer.
There is a chance.
You know,
I agree. Maybe Metroid is what they come out with, and then they come out with, that's
Metroid, and I mean, maybe there's a maybe instead of Mario, their Switch 2 heavy hitter, because of how good it did in 2020, is an Animal Crossing. It's been long enough. Maybe we get an Animal Crossing Switch 2.
True.
I mean, that literally transcended video games. People who have never played another video game played Animal Crossing in 2020. So maybe
it
they
did.
want
I
that
feel like
to launch.
I feel like it's not quite time for that. I feel like that's a year or two
Wasn't
out.
that?
It was
I guess
2020.
it was after 2017, obviously.
Yeah, it was 2020.
Holy crap! It's been 8 years since Odyssey.
Yeah, that's why I think it's
Nintendo. What the
that's,
heck?
That's why I
Why
think
are we waiting 8 years for a Mario game?
That's why I feel like the mainline Mario platformer is like a almost for sure.
But you see, the logic is the same as Silksong, because Silksong came out in 2016.
Yeah,
but sure logic, but it doesn't feel great.
True. That's true. Yeah. But I feel like with Nintendo, they're more strategic and they're a big corporation. Like they're going to be like, we need the big thing to sell our new hardware. Whereas Team Cherry is a little thing, a studio, and something's going on, different thing.
The other one I'm really looking at is Fable.
Yeah. That's the other one that is risky.
Fable's such an unknown quantity. Like,
even if it comes out, it could review poorly.
It could review poorly. It could easily not come out this year. Oh, you know what? I haven't even talked about the fact that Grand Theft Auto 6, I think, could also not come out this year.
I think there's a chance. Yeah. I know I picked it first because it feels like it's a grand slam if it comes out. But there's a chance that gets moved. I agree.
And that one's risky. I might save one of my later counter picks for that. I think coming out of the draft, to try and not screw myself over too hard here, just in the draft process, I am going to. How do I make a counter pick? Where's that at? Draft counter pick. Okay,
yeah, button at the top.
I'm going to go Mario Kart. I don't think there's a new Mario Kart this year.
Yeah.
I think that's
honestly that's what I would have picked on. I kind of regret picking that right now too, is because I feel like I think there's a chance, but I also feel like it's, now that I think about it,
there's a chance, but the
Metroid Prime and Mario
answer,
Mainline and Mario Kart feels like a lot in a single year.
And also the laziest answer is bundling all the DLC into the game and reselling it, which Nintendo does all the time.
Yeah. The only reason
it would work for people because I never purchased the DLC and all the other tracks. So for me, I get a Switch 2 and I'm like, oh, hey, I can finally just have all the tracks and not have to go onto their Nintendo Online and buy these things.
I just feel like they got such ubiquitous sales with the Switch 1, and they got a lot of people to buy Mario Kart 8, which was already ported over, that they might want to be like, hey, let's refresh this a little bit and like call it something new. But that's probably the riskiest pick that I made. I agree.
Well, there you have it. Let's do a little recap here. I'm your friendly publisher, Wuthering Frames, and my list goes something like Monster Hunter Wilds, Ghost of Yote, Sid Meier's Civilization 7, Elden Ring Night Rain, Death Stranding 2 On the Beach, Hollow Knight Silk Song, Avowed, Xenoblade Chronicles X Definitive Edition, or is it 10? I don't know how those Xenoblade sickos say that. Donkey Kong Country Returns HD, and Like a Dragon, Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Those are my 10.
And then on your list, I counterpicked Hollow Knight Silk Song.
Thank you for adding that. I forgot.
And then my list, gamer, I hardly know her, is Grand Theft Auto 6, Split Fiction, Metroid Prime 4 Beyond, Doom the Dark Ages, Metal Gear Solid Snake Eater, unannounced Mario 3D platformer, Mario Kart unannounced mainline game, Citizen Sleeper 2 Starward Vector, Fable, and Assassin's Creed Shadows.
With my counterpick being Mario Kart. Non-existent Mario Kart.
Non-existent game that is probably not real. Yep.
I really feel like our top fives are both extremely solid and our bottom fives get shaky.
I agree.
It's to be expected. So I don't think anyone came out of this draft.
And I feel like your counterpick is more likely to get you points, and mine I'm worried about. But if mine gets me points, it's going to hit hard.
Yeah. Wait. What do you mean?
If Silk Song doesn't come out, I guess that would only be 15.
I mean, it would hurt me pretty bad, but yeah,
it would hurt you.
No, it'll be 0. That's how. Do you know how counterpicks work, Zach?
I don't get point. That it would just be against you. Okay, so it would hit you.
If you counterpick a game that does not come out, you get a 0 for it, which is a win, because it's going to be pretty dang hard to pick a game that is below a 70.
Yeah.
So your goal is 0 with a counterpick, really. 0 to 5, probably. So, but it would hit hard because it would lock it into my. Anytime you get a game that's not going to announce, you've locked a 0 into one of my 20 slots. That's
actually maybe a wash.
Yeah.
Because the more I think about it, the more I'm worried about Mario Kart. But that was the most impulsive move I made.
What would one of these drafts be with that extreme immediate regret afterwards?
Yeah, so, exactly.
Anything else to say as we venture into 2025 with our lists and our video game hopes? It's on. What was your other team name? All the right games in all the right places.
Oh yeah, you're going down. Everybody knows that you're going down.
You really
it just keeps going.
It just keeps. That's your team name.
That's my team name.
We are a publisher. All the right every time.
Next up on the roster, we have all the right games in all the right places. Yeah.
Well, there you have it. Stay tuned. We'll probably give some, as we do our thing throughout the year, we tend to give updates and talk back and forth about games that come out and games we picked up and yada, yada, yada. So last year, Zach blew his budget in the spring, and then they announced Astrobot.
Yeah. I blew it on Indiana Jones, which actually reviewed pretty well.
And I was like, you know what? I think I'll take this Astrobot game.
Yeah.
I think it'll do pretty good.
I think I might try and hold off from spending everything right away because...
Gotta save your schmeckles.
Save those schmeckles and also spots. I think at this point, I think what's more likely right now is there's a lot of interesting games
Not
that we could go
overfilling
pick
your
up
roster.
right now. I'm more worried about overfilling my roster on cheap things.
Because we're going to find out in the next 6 months, we're going to find out a whole bunch of games that we don't even know about.
Thinking. So we got to save some room.
I'm thinking next year we bump it to 25. Honestly, between the two of us, I think that's very reasonable.
If there's the same amount of games projected, then yeah, I agree.
Yeah,
and they're probably
okay. Well, hang out with us for the year. We'll be here doing our same old dumb stuff. Let us know who you're rooting for: the Wuthering Frames or the Gamer I Hardly Know Her publishers. Whose list is better? Who would you hate to see win more? It's obviously.
And who would you win to hate see more?
What does that even mean, Zach? Never mind. They just changed their vote.
Everyone's now Team Wuthering Frames.
Exactly. Cool. That'll wrap it up. Thank you for joining us. We please look forward to more content. We're going to be doing our monthly gaming throughout the year, and big events. What we do some reviews of events that come up.
Yeah, we'll talk about Summer Games.
Maybe we'll become independently wealthy, and we'll be able to devote all kinds of time to this channel and make more interesting stuff. That could also happen in 2025. Yep. So again, please look forward to it, and we will see you in February, about January, probably.